By now, any self-respecting Star Wars fan should know that the single-handedly most impactful event took place in Episode 3 of the Star Wars saga, where we see the complete and utter annihilation of the Jedi Order at the hands of Palpatine and his impeccably constructed grand plan. Clones were of course instrumental in its destruction, and although many of them did succeed in their mission to kill the Jedi, some of them were unfortunate enough to be killed in the process, one such clone of course being the relatively underfeatured Commander Gree. Although he was known to us as the scumbag who tried to kill Yoda, Gree was much more than this and surprisingly proved himself to be quite a humble and tolerant soldier for much of the war. Like all other clones within the Republic Army, he was born and raised on Kamino and eventually given the designated name of CC-1004. During his intensive training at the hands of Alpha 17, CC-1004 cultivated quite a unique personality, and thus found himself developing a fascination for the different Star Wars races and their cultures. He reached a point where he found them so interesting that he later named himself Gree in reference to an obscure alien species. He figured if anyone recognized the source of the name, they would most likely also share a passion for alien culture. It was partly due to this unique captivation for aliens that Gree was appointed commander of the 41st Elite Corps, a corps which unsurprisingly specialized in alien contact and negotiation. He was put under the guidance of General Luminara Unduli, and throughout his extensive long-term campaigns, Gree continued to feed his thirst for alien knowledge and quickly became renowned for being one of the only clones able to effectively communicate with and recruit foreign species. To further add to your knowledge of the misunderstood Commander Gree, in the early months of the war he, like many other soldiers, maintained his standard clone cut. However, after fighting a particularly devastating battle on the planet of Tibrin, Gree decided to honor his fallen brethren by adopting the double stripe haircut that to this day remains symbolic to Gree and Gree only. Following this, the commander went on to serve and was present for a multitude of key events, including the capture of Nute Gunray in the Second Battle of Geonosis. Through these various battles and conflicts, Gree was known to treat his soldiers with the utmost respect and fairness. This respect was in turn reciprocated, and the 41st Elite Corps became one of the most desirable corps the army had to offer. With that said, Gree's troops faced their first and last real challenge on Kashyyyk, where they not only had to defend the beachhead from a constant separatist onslaught, but also had to attempt to deal with the Jedi and Wookiees present following the initiation of Order 66. Eventually, after a long and arduous process of simultaneously destroying droids, fighting Wookiees and hunting Jedi, the large force sent to Kashyyyk managed to just barely prevail, thus marking their brutal transition onto the Empire. Although Commander Gree's loyalty ultimately blinded him from the truth and led to his demise at the hands of Yoda, he was, for 99% of the Clone Wars, a respected and well-rounded military mind that evidently appreciated and cared for his troops. In my opinion, the reason he's such a misunderstood character lies in the fact that many people tend to define him by his involvement and willingness to execute Order 66. However, like the millions of other clones running around and shooting Jedi, he was just following orders and still was one of the more humane clones out there. To add to this, he was one of the only clones to take an active interest in the different alien species populating the universe. Unlike the majority of his brethren, instead of showing contempt for these foreign races, Gree showed compassion and understanding whilst interacting with them, often creating fruitful alliances that would last up until the end of the war. In saying this, based on the information provided in this video, I ask you now whether you've changed any of your perceptions on Commander Gree, or were you already on top of your lore game and knew about the intricacies of Gree long before this video? Answer me in the comment section below. Just before you head off, don't forget to join the wider intergalactic community and join us on our website, Discord and Instagram. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.